Hello and welcome, esteemed gamers, friends, listeners. It is Leighton here from Leighton Night with Brian Wecht, and I just wanted to tell you that if you're looking to get even more podcast goodness to put in your face, then we've got just the thing for you, which is the official Leighton Night Patreon. We have several tiers where you can get access to recommendation lists for every episode, listen to Patreon-exclusive mini-sodes, get into the super awesome fan Discord, and watch videos like Brian's songwriting process for jingles on the show, or me taking apart and cleaning my mechanical keyboards. It's really fun and cool, and we super appreciate your support. It's neat. We would love to see you there. Without any further ado, here's the episode. Enjoy. Love you. Bye. So, terrible news. Brian's dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we all are here for the funeral. It's only 4 of us.
He was not loved. There's
This is what he would have wanted. His whole goal was to annoy everybody, and he did. So rest in piss.
He got the gush, right?
He got the gush.
Have you heard of the gush?
the Ushy Gushy?
What's the gush?
It's from a YouTube video, but
Jesus Christ.
it was this fake documentary about porn stars who couldn't. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm opening the
Yes.
fucking podcast after this one. But
So Vernon, you've been off of the internet for a long time.
It's a
Where have
YouTube
you been
video
up to?
about like porn stars who can't stop coming, but it's done comedically.
Can I get that clean one more time, Vernon?
Brian died of the gush. Jesus.
So I thought
Okay.
it might be nice for all of us to go in a circle and share some nice memories about Brian to remember him. Listeners, I just gave like a whisper silence. So it could be like we have a nice silence when I ask for nice stories about Brian, but you know.
Like that joke in post. Fuck it.
See, Brian doesn't even have to be here to put you in your corner, Vernon.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
He's doing it from beyond the grave.
God, he's so good at that.
I went to New York for like the first time as an adult.
Really?
That was fun.
So did you go to do a guest?
I did a little guest spot at Somewhere NYC. Very confusing name.
Wait, where in NYC?
It's called Somewhere NYC. Oh,
Where
it's
in
in
NYC?
It's in Bushwick.
Oh, cool.
It's technically in Queens, but it's like touching Bushwick a little bit. So I was in Bushwick with my friend Emil, and it was very nice, very walkable city. You know, I think we should do that in LA. You know, the public transportation, you know, the traffic. NYC and like LA, it's just, you know, and it's walking and driving, you know, and it's the neighborhoods, you know, like
Mhm,
slices, tacos.
It's the attitudes, the people.
The
you know,
people,
there's just a different
yeah.
energy, man.
It's
The
There's
city
just-
really plays a
there's just like a
character.
vibe.
In the story, right? Yeah.
It's like the city is the story, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like,
You're like a real New Yorker now. You fucking fold your pizza now.
oh my God. People were very mean to me when I tried to order bagels because there was a confusing way to order bagels where it's like you go up, you order your bagel and they give you a ticket, but then you wait to pay until you have your bagel. And I'm like, I could
Oh,
be
yeah.
paying right now and then I could just get my bagel and go. But instead, we're all kind of grouped up waiting to pay. And then you have to fumble through paying. It felt like the wrong way to do it, but I was also scolded for it.
That's the wrong way to do it, for sure.
Yeah.
What kind of bagel were you getting?
I went to this one place called Knickerbocker Bagel
Yes,
on
love
Knickerbocker
it.
Street.
Love it.
And I got usually a poppy. I got a little cucumber dill schmear.
Yo.
Wait, you order your bagel and then you pay there.
Yeah. But you have to like wait to pay until they finish making your food.
Right.
And I was like, I could just go and pay right now.
Yeah.
I don't understand. That was what was confusing to me.
Mario's in Glendale does that.
Wrong. Disagree.
Savages.
It's stressful because like I don't feel okay until I've like either ordered my food and paid for it at a place. Like I'm not gonna settle until it's in, and then I'm just waiting for them to say the fake name that I give at a place. So
You give a fake name at a place?
yeah, my name's Amy.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Is it because people can't spell Leighton or don't know what
Yeah,
you're
it's
saying?
because I don't want to deal with it, and I'm a mumbler, and I like swallow the glottal stop in Leighton, so they like never.
You're
Leighton!
always swallowing those glottal stops.
Well, yeah,
man.
no, that's why it's funny because Audrey is like Leighton's here, but Amy is easier. Instead of the step-by-step thing of me saying it's for Leighton, it's for Leigh, and then whoever, if it's a different person reading it, then they're like an order for. So Amy, easy, can't fuck it up, easy to hear. The hard A cuts through the din of
Is that your middle name?
Do you think it's my middle name?
You look like Amy. You look
Ew.
late in Amy Gray.
Ow, that hurts.
Amy Gray. That sounds like a murder victim.
Speaking of rest in peace, no, my middle name's Elizabeth, which is an even more basic white girl name.
I love that acronym though. Hitting him with that leg.
Stop. No, I thought I was past this period of my life. Don't expose me for this. My
Leg night with Brian Wecht.
Welcome to Late Night. We're bringing back bullying.
Bullying actually good.
See, Brian would love for all of us to be talking about bullying. How about bullying is great. at
Well,
his funeral.
maybe that's the thing about this is that we're like talking about all the cool stuff that Brian would have enjoyed like discussing with us just without him. Who's your favorite classical composer?
Everybody, who's your favorite mathematician that nobody's ever heard of?
Oh my God.
Who's the one that he hates a lot?
Schmerz Dweller.
Oh,
of the
God.
Schmerz Dweller constant, that thing in physics.
We could just start like physics beefs without Brian here and just have him like have to deal with it later.
Yeah. Would anybody like to say something confidently wrong about math or physics?
I don't know enough about it
Yeah,
to
neither
even
do
say
I.
what's
I
wrong.
can't-
All I know is that Brian has told me so many times how easily he could beat Neil deGrasse Tyson in a fight.
Doesn't he have like 2 feet on him?
Everybody like spiritually has 2 feet on him.
Brian brought that up too. He's like, yeah, I know Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's got like the length advantage, but if I get under that and I can really be aggressive, I think I can knock him with a couple uppercuts before he gets the chance to. He said this to me. Were you guys not there when he said that?
Brian is really passionate about boxing. That's the thing that he's super into.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, like I could fucking knock Neil deGrasse Tyson out.
Do you think that like Brian would accept a tweet battle between him and Neil?
He told me he didn't want to like solve it over the internet. Is the thing.
Mhm.
He said he wanted to solve it in a parking lot. He heard Neil deGrasse Tyson's been talking a lot of shit.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
Creative Clash 2.0.
God.
Should we have like a YouTuber bout between Brian and Neil deGrasse Tyson?
can we talk about Creator Clash?
Oh, yes.
What is that?
It was a boxing event put on by Ian Idubbbs and his girlfriend Anissa and Real Good Touring, which was just a bunch of YouTubers wailing on each other.
Oh.
And I guess it was like different from any other like YouTube boxing promotion because like, I don't know, there was no like fake beef. Like it was just like, look at all these people jumping into the ring and trying their hardest.
And learning how to box. Like I think there was a lot of
Oh.
emphasis on all of them training and getting into it and being kind of like new to the whole deal.
Yeah, they just reached out to a lot of people who didn't know how to box and they're like, hey, like you have like 6 to 8 months to learn how to box. And so does the other guy. Like, do you want to say yes to this and then like work out a bunch and step in the ring?
That's baffling to me.
I didn't realize just like how much of it I would see. I used to box in college and it was like something I really, really enjoyed. And then time passes, I didn't really have anyone to work out with. So I just stopped boxing. And then, pandemic happens, you build a boxing gym in your garage.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. Sweaty and bloody.
Yeah. You get a lot of free time. You build a garage.
You build a garage?
No, you build a gym in your garage. Thank you. And then you get dinner with Aaron one day and he's like, oh, I signed up to like box a large man. And then like pretty quickly, we just started working out like 6 days a week with each other. Yeah, dude, I'm feeling fucking zooted off of that protein powder.
God.
But yeah, Creator Clash happened. And then I feel very grateful for it because like it sort of like kickstarted the next chapter in my fitness journey where now I like work out 6 days a week. And drink my fucking green smoothies in the morning
Oh my
and
God.
hope that solves depression.
Will you teach me how to work out?
Yeah,
I don't know
dude.
how to move my body
Allison, that's his
correctly.
activation phrase. Don't say that.
No, like what I found out from Creator Clash was it is just my dream for someone to come up to me and be like, I got a fight coming up. Who's going to train me? Like that is my sleeper cell activation phrase. Let's learn how to punch, man.
Yeah, so people who watch Creator Clash, you might have seen Vernon in the corner.
there's like 1 or 2 shots, and like I was one of Aaron's cornermen. It just boiled down to me holding a bucket, mostly. Like just holding a bucket, like in the corner and just waiting. But Brent gave me like just really cheap jewelry with like a boxing glove on it. Like it's just very out of character for me that I'm just like, standing behind Aaron as he steps into the ring, just flexing every muscle that I can. So I just like look buff on camera. And then I have like a gold boxing necklace on too.
You should get an earring.
Wow.
Oh my
I
God.
think you would rock like a nose ring, I think.
Oh, a nose ring?
Oh my God, Claire's trip.
Oh,
Follower
yes.
goal for Claire's trip to get
Yes.
the girlies their piercings. I got pierced at Claire's at 19.
Wow.
It was great. Just an adult man? Question mark? And then your girl from Claire's.
My neighbor got her septum piercing in middle school, and she had to take our yearbook photos, and they photoshopped it out of her yearbook photo.
Oh
in
my
middle school.
God.
She was mad.
Wow. Yeah, I remember my high school senior picture. First of all, they didn't say like, hey, wear a shirt because we're going to make you put on a different shirt. And so I wore a dress and they were like, well, you shouldn't have done that because you have to put on this special shirt. And so I had to like go into the bathroom already feeling like shit about my, just 18-year-old face or whatever. And like have my dress like tied around my waist with this stupid shirt with an open back on because they were just like, oh, we'll put it on top of everybody's shirts. So it wasn't even a real shirt. And I get the pictures back and they Photoshop the fuck out of my face. Like it's all smooth. And it's like, I know I had acne, but I didn't ask you to do that. I thought I looked good.
Oh my God.
It was the exact same thing from my senior photo. They'd just take a tuxedo like print and then just lay it over your chest. I don't know. I so vividly remember that day because like it was like one of the hottest days of the year, and I'm just like sitting outside waiting for my turn to get the picture taken. And, like by then, all of the blood is drained from my face, and now my senior photo, my yearbook, I looked at it recently. It's just like, oh, I guess a vampire showed up, just super pale.
Oh, my God.
Well, and it matches with when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band.
Wait, you guys didn't get to take your own senior photos?
No.
No, what? You got to
I
take your
got
own?
to, yeah.
Wait, what was in your senior photo?
Well, we all got ours like professionally shot. We could do whatever we want. And I did mine's in a pool. Like I was sitting in a pool, like at a table with like a mug that says, I love my dad.
Do you have this photo?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook.
Yeah, you better
somewhere.
deliver.
I will show you.
We're podcasting.
Yeah.
I feel like officially, welcome to Late Night with
Out.
Allison, Jarrett, without Brian Wecht. That's a much better way of it. Welcome to Late Night without Brian Wecht.
Like just every time I've been on late night, like every muscle has been tensed in my body because like Brian was there, and it's really cool to like be here like with the inmates running the asylum, like
Yes.
just like cutting loose.
Yeah, it's only half the muscles in your body are
Like-
tensed.
Dad's not here, man. We're just having a blast.
Yeah, so welcome. This is the podcast of the people.
We've unionized.
We've seized the means of production, and we don't have to sit through 10 minutes of a What's Poppin' introduction. And we can talk about whatever we want. I know that there's liquor in the cabinet, and we can order a pizza, and we can play Truth or Dare, and it's going to be so much fun, and we can have a pillow fight.
I'm going to put water in the vodka once we drink all of it.
Haha, yeah.
They'll never know.
I don't know that water won't freeze, and so if they keep their vodka in the freezer, we're fucked.
But welcome. We're here.
We are here in Jarek's beautiful home,
Thank you.
Loving
Thank
it.
you.
physically, and we can all see each other's feet.
Yeah, Jarek has the shoes off home, you freak.
Got the slides on.
Oh, you know.
You know, I'm not going to act like I didn't just do this bit before we walked in here, but when people go over to Quentin Tarantino's house, do you think that like he really insists they take their shoes off?
I would like to think so.
I saw a video of someone asking him to sign her foot. And it
I
was the
saw
most
that.
uncomfortable video I've ever seen because he was like trying to hold back, but he definitely was pretty into it.
Do you think Quentin Tarantino's circumcised?
Wait, okay.
That's what I love about you, Jarek. I always throw the curveball questions.
I love that this is not even that much of a curveball for faithful listeners of Late Night. Several episodes ago, we had a discussion with your wonderful friend.
Yes, Bobby Bray.
Yes, who talked about the potential connection between circumcision and foot fetishes.
What?
We won't rehash this whole thing, but
Yes.
Oh my God. See, I had heard that it is one of the only like true, like non-trauma based fetishes because there's like weird connections that can happen in your brain where like you look at someone's feet and you feel like you're looking at someone's genitals. and you're rip-rearing.
This is what we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Cortical homunculi.
Cortical homunculi.
Cortical
baby.
homunculi. They're just
Yeah.
in there, just cranking them gears, those homunculus, and they're just like, yeah, you like feet, kid.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I've joked myself into a mild. I can't say
I remember the exact moment that happened. We were watching Architectural Digest, and Liv Tyler was showing her home. It's a phenomenal YouTube video front to back, but like there was a moment there where
Her
her
toesy-woesies are
soft
out.
supple toesy woesies show up, and then Leighton leads over to me and is like, "I think I have a foot fetish."
You know, you joke about something so long that you become the joke. You know,
it's like the same way I became an Insane Clown Posse fan. Like I just kept making Insane Clown Posse jokes, but like after I don't know, I want to say several years of doing that, it was like, well, I don't know, it kind of is about family, isn't it?
How do Magnus work?
So Vernon lent me Cannery Row.
Hey, did you read it?
I have gotten about halfway through it, and the entire time I couldn't stop thinking about you explaining why Insane Clown Posse is about family, and that's why you love this book.
What was the
Because it's just about some people in some hard times coming together.
yeah, and it's about family sometimes.
It's about
you know,
family.
like,
I was just like imagining all of these juggalos in like old school cannery, like
No, but dude,
West Coast.
I will go podcast official and say like I believe in the concept of Insane Clown Posse. I just really like the idea of a community of like music lovers or whatever who will accept you no matter what. Can't believe I'm sorry.
Go off, King. Go off.
Just here's Vernon ranting about Insane Clown Posse. I don't know, man. Like the only thing you gotta do to be an Insane Clown Posse fan is like Insane Clown Posse, and then you're a part of that family, man. Like I don't think they should be registered as a gang by the FBI. There's my controversial hot take about the Insane Clown Posse. They are currently like seen by the FBI as a gang, and I don't think that's warranted.
How much Fago have you consumed?
I once wrote a pretty long. I was unemployed at the time, but I wrote a really long essay about like the meaning of being a juggalo and why I didn't hate that. Just I don't know, whoop whoop. Okay, like
Have you ever put on the face paint?
I did. It was for a YouTube video back when I worked at Maker Studios, but I played a juggalo, and you know what? Like it felt really comfortable on my skin.
Did you feel good? You felt good in that paint, didn't you?
Connected.
I felt a part of a superstructure, you know?
Yeah, I bet you felt fucking good in that paint.
I don't know, like to this day, like if I got an invite to like Cave and Rock, Illinois to be at the gathering of the Juggalos, I think I would have a really fun time.
Wait, why don't you just go? If
Yeah,
that's
why
your
not?
family. You fucking coward.
Okay,
You just went on a whole rant.
Could you imagine me showing up at Cave and Rock, Illinois, like the Los Angeles hipster that I am? They would accept me. See, they would like
They
just
would, yeah.
and they would offer me laughing gas recreationally.
It does remind me of when I invited you to my non-binary friend's 25th birthday. Which was
33.
25th birthday,
Oh,
which
I got
was a bar mitzvah theme because they already had a bat mitzvah, and so they wanted to even it out. And I invite Vernon, and I'm like, you should dress up for a bar mitzvah. So everyone there is like dressed in middle school like clothing, and it's fun, and almost everyone is queer.
This is okay. Here's the thing about that party that you invited me to. My internal dialogue when it was happening was like, all right, man, we're getting through the pandemic finally. Like, I'm finally comfortable enough to go out to places. Like, I can't slouch if someone asks me to dress up. Like, if someone if someone invites me to go to a function, like, I'm not going to slouch. That's what I learned during pandemic. Is that like you just got to show up.
And you showed up, in
Yeah.
a full suit.
Yeah.
And like as probably the only man
Yeah.
at the entire thing.
Yeah,
and it
it was
was
real-
so good. And you had like a foot on every single other person there. And it was great.
Like me walking in from my perspective, nobody was dressed up. I don't know. It was just like a bunch of like LA dudes. and then me in my like fucking business casual blazer.
No, you did so good because that's like how you would dress up for a bar mitzvah is like
Yeah.
you put on your
Yeah,
little
happy
suit.
bar mitzvah.
And it doesn't fit very well. Yours fit very well, by the
Thank you.
way. You looked very hot. But it was just fun to watch you then just bond with my weird tech trans girlfriends.
Just be really uncomfortable the whole time. Just as an ally. because I was overdressed.
I love how you made that worse. Like there was no, it was clear what you were uncomfortable about. Like, the need to clarify. God, Vernon, I think the thing is it doesn't matter if Brian is here or not. You do this to yourself.
Yeah. No, I think I have anxiety.
I think you just really love the taste of foot in your mouth. That's a callback, baby.
Christ.
Okay. Anyway, all of that build up. Drive 2011.
Drive 2011, man. So on the flight back from New York, I tried to read my little books. I tried to draw my little pictures. And then the person next to me was watching Matrix Resurrection. And so I was going to watch Matrix Resurrection. But then I felt weird that they were almost done with the movie. And I was like, I'm not going to like put on the movie that they just watched. That feels like weird.
Would have been a lot better if you just leaned over and asked them to put on the closed captioning.
Hey, can we share headphones real fast? Is that good? Is that good for you?
I want to find out what happens. That's how I watched Solo: A Star Wars Story twice. There was nothing else to watch, and so I watched it once, and then the person in front of me started watching it, and I didn't have the audio, and I was like, yeah, it's about the same experience. God, this sucks.
There is like a genre of movie of like, you should watch this on a plane. I really enjoyed Ex Machina on a plane.
That's a good plane movie.
So instead of Matrix Resurrection, I watched Drive 2011 because I was like,
right.
This is a movie.
A capital M movie that people, capital T, talk about.
People talk. I've seen like some video essays. There's squares in it, quadrants maybe.
I love that you
I've
know
watched that exact
exactly.
same one.
Yeah. It's like, actually it represents when they're in the top quadrant and it's the distance between the characters.
Was that Every Frame of Painting with Tony?
Probably.
Zhu?
I think that
Jay?
might be every frame of painting.
Honestly, it was fun to watch that every probably frame of painting and then watch it and just realize that none of that matters at all. And I'm like, oh yeah, they do some cool tracking shots. That's like cool. They like tilt the camera. It's a fairly pretty movie. And then it's just kind of a white supremacist Sigma male like bullshit where
Go
like
off.
The one-
Finally. I'm so fucking sick of people talking about Drive 2011 like it's actually a good movie and not just a pile of dog shit.
It's so
that
bad.
Refn was like, people see like, they used a neon light. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
he has no chemistry with the female person. And it's like, oh yeah, her husband who's a person of color who went to prison and he's trying to change his life. And like fucking Ryan Gosling is doing the same thing, but somehow he's the good guy. And then the Oscar Isaac is the failure of a father. And it's just weird. And then there's some weird Jewish stuff as well.
Have you seen Only God Forgives?
No.
It's the movie that he made after Drive. It doubles down on all that, like quadruples down. There are just a variety of racial slurs used in new and exciting ways. But it's like, this is just a bad movie. You guys just like it because the light is blue sometimes. Like,
and
holy
they said
shit.
a slur. People like
Yeah.
men love it when you say a slur.
Oh
but
my
it's
God, the
weird.
comment section on this episode is going to be so fucking mwah, chef's kiss, baby.
It's so weird when your two main characters are so Aryan and there's the weird like person of color impregnating the white lady that's a failure. It's so uncomfortable. And that's like the only narrative in it besides I'm going to drive a bit.
I'm going to drive.
Which, I don't know, promises made, promises kept.
It really is he's just like, it's like, what do you do?
he
I just
drives.
drive a bit. Just drive around.
Imagine for a moment if they did not absolutely crush it on picking Kavinsky Night Call as like the big opening track for that. Can you imagine if they picked like a Bruce Springsteen song or something? Nobody would care about this movie. But instead it's the awesome synthy Night Call. Like that song rules. You could put that over like train crashes and I'd be like, yeah, cool. Yeah.
I also don't get like the weird jacket thing.
I'll go to bat for the jacket. That was a cool jacket. I wanted to do that for Halloween. I never did, but like I could.
Thank God.
could see myself
That's why
doing
we're
it.
that's why we're
Why
still
we're
friends, because you didn't do
Is that I
it.
never bought the drive jacket.
It's a cool jacket, sure, but it feels like if a dude silently stared at me in his weird scorpion jacket while I took my groceries in with my kid and then kind of was just in my house a bit and also said nothing, I would not be happy. These people have never talked to a woman. These directors are like, this is how women think. If a man is tall and handsome and says no words, but is not awful to you, but not really nice either.
He's just there. Also, I love Christina Hendricks. We all love Mad Men and how great her acting is, and also that she's gorgeous. But, you know, she's in that movie and exists just for you to hate Titty Woman and watch her head blow up.
Really? Yeah. Oh my God, the gore.
Yeah, I guess Drive spoilers.
I don't care.
2011
Listen,
spoilers.
There are groups of people who are listening to this. The people who are really
You don't
mad at
deserve
us.
to not get Drive spoilers.
And then the other people who haven't seen it, and it's like, good, don't. It's not worth it.
As a guy driving around Los Angeles in 2011, like Drive was like a cool movie to come out and then drive around Los Angeles and be like,
Yeah.
City is my church.
That's just all it is, though.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
to like
dude.
make all of the like framing, you know, every frame painting thing, it's like all of that has to amount to something, you know?
It has to mean something that isn't just this milk toast. Who cares? Just who cares?
It does have some like good historical footage of like pre-renovation Echo Park Lake.
Oh.
Yeah.
We just did the jerk off motions. You can't see that.
I've lived in Los Angeles for like 15 years now. Seeing like Echo Park sort of like change over the years has been like, I guess, a really like interesting, I don't know, experience of just having
Of
lived in the place for a really
gentrification?
long time.
Are
Yeah.
Are you
And-
saying that the city is a character in the movie?
Yeah. No, one of my earliest memories of Echo Park was I was in college and I was at a show at the Echo. It was the Happy Hollows playing, and the bassist for the Happy Hollows comes out on stage and he's like, "Hey guys, just a heads up, don't go into the alleyway, because I just got robbed in the alleyway."
Oh my God.
That was like 2009 Echo Park.
And we're back.
Thanks for listening to that ad from our sponsors. Who sponsors? Is it Sleep Number?
Casper, Good Meal.
It's a mattress company that also sends you like daily affirmations. And like gives you good access to a therapist.
I don't want that.
While at the same time providing you with a daily meal plan.
I want a mattress that like mocks me every Friday night that I don't fuck. Just like, yeah, you fucking virgin.
It's the built-in alarm clock, and then it sends you the meal plan according to whether or not you fucked. And so if you didn't fuck, they just send you oatmeal and like a small hand mirror so you can look at yourself while you eat it. You virgin. Are you good?
Choked out so much water.
No. We will one day get to the podcast sponsor Monopoly, where all of them are the same product. It's
Yeah,
like MeUndies that gets you therapy. It's like, I'm noticing that your pH is a little off. Do you need me to order some special boutique weed?
Can we send a therapist to talk to you or just a bed?
Can we send a man with a gun to your location just to put you out of your misery? That's a very like Fallout joke. Do you like how smoothly I'm transitioning into making everybody talk
All
about
right,
Fallout with
transition.
me?
The rest of this podcast will be Leighton screaming at us about Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. I think the funny thing is that for friends and people who are on the Discord who can probably see me, where like I get into a new game and then it's just every single day for 24 hours. It's Leighton's playing Fallout New Vegas.
One of my favorite things is coming back from a function and I get onto my warm down game
yeah.
and I just see Leighton is playing Civilization 6.
yeah. Local bird mom who's playing Warhammer.
The Warhammer Total War.
Warhammer Total War.
I really do appreciate how much you talk about how much you hate video games, but you actually love video games.
Yeah, it turns out I like video games and I like them too much, which is why I have to talk about how much I hate them and how they are bad.
Was that thing that we were talking about? Like we feel unworthy to hate content because we actually like content.
What you said was, I think our curse is that we actually like content, and maybe that's the source of all the low self-esteem, for we find ourselves unworthy to hate content. And then I said, there it is. None of us feel worthy of hating content and are all trying to prove otherwise. Hence, thing I'm not saying on the show. We're all just waiting for some sweet anime Jesus to die for our sins.
Quirked up shorties.
So we're so quirky. I really enjoy having you as a friend because you will periodically get obsessed with things that like I personally like do not wish to pursue at all. So you act as like this sort of like information dump so I can learn about something that I like don't.
Like, I like being
I
friends
want to
with
be
you
as
because,
harsh as possible when I say this.
because you get really annoying when you're
that I just, I don't know, man. I don't care about Fallout New Vegas, but like I love seeing how excited you are about it, and I learn something when I listen to you.
What is that?
That was a really good transition.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, Fallout New Vegas.
Well,
Thank you.
So Fallout New Vegas, over the weekend, I went to Aaron and Susie's, and Susie made us really, really good soup. And Aaron was playing Fallout New Vegas, and I was watching him play it, and I was like, oh shit, I've been meaning to play this game forever. This looks tight. And then I think Sunday I bought it, and then by Monday I had spent probably like 20 of the previous 24 hours playing Fallout New Vegas. So it's a good game.
Didn't that also come out in 2011?
No, 2010, I believe.
Oh, okay. So I was trying to figure out like if Drive was informed by Fallout New Vegas or Fallout New Vegas was informed by Drive.
Well, see, Fallout New Vegas does the real Chad shit of nobody drives cars. You can't drive cars. Also, to be clear, I did not previously care about Fallout. I played Fallout 4 when it came out, and that game sucks. I played maybe 40 hours of it, and I was like, God, I hate everybody here. And I have to watch the ammo I collect. This sucks.
It really feels like a game where all you can be is a cop.
Yes, exactly. It's like, do you want to be with the cops with the big armor, or do you want to be with the other cops or the other cops?
Or like the nasty cops.
Or
with
the
like the
nasty
spikes.
cops. Yeah. And then Fallout New Vegas is like totalitarianism, baby. What if you killed them all?
It's like nobody's a cop. You can't be a cop in that game. Even when you try, it's
Well,
like,
it's
nope.
like, you know, the NCR is cops, and then also Brotherhood of Steel cops, and then Caesar's Legion, which is just,
Mega cops.
no, they're not mega cops. They're just like, yeah, fascism rules. What if we killed everybody and like crucified them in the streets?
Yeah, mega cops.
How many hours have you put into Fallout New Vegas so far?
Like 48 maybe.
Okay, that's still like a good Christian number.
Are you on one playthrough?
I'm on one playthrough, yeah. Despite the amount of time that I have played, I am taking it quote unquote slow. I am trying to not completely speed run through it.
How many hours have you put into Cyberpunk?
360.
How many hours have you
Five.
put into Animal Crossing?
Why are you doing this? 950.
Why do you know all these numbers off the top of your head?
It's like a shame thing, right?
Yeah, it's a shame.
Like- okay, but like, do you see yourself putting that amount of hours into Fallout that you did on those games?
Buddy, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
If I could see cumulatively the amount of time I've played like Skyrim, both on my Switch and my PS3, because I didn't realize that Fallout New Vegas is just like Skyrim.
It's quirked up Skyrim.
It's quirked up Skyrim, where if you are bisexual, you deal 10% more damage to everyone. So also, it's just like genuinely an RPG. I just fucking love RPGs. You have so many options, and you can be an evil monster if you want to. Like, literally just did a quest where you go to a casino, and it's like, what's going on in this casino? All these people are fucking weird, eyes wide shut freaks. Guess what? They're cannibals. Figure it out.
You didn't do that in 2010. That was pushing the envelope, cannibals.
Pushing the envelope.
Drive didn't even come out until 2011.
Yeah, so many cannibals in Drive 2011.
2011 invented cars, as we all know. But, you know, like this cowboy outside of the casino is like, I'm trying to kill this man. He's here. I want you to go kill him. And you're like, all right, sure, I'll go kill him. Then you go talk to him. And he's like, have you seen a kid in a white cowboy hat? And then if you want to be a dick, you can be like, yeah, I saw him in the bathhouse in a 2-piece bikini. And he's like, don't you know what it's like to lose a son? And it's like a big old cow baron who came here and he can't find his son and he's trying to make a deal. And then you got to find out about these disappearances. And it's like, oh shit, there's cannibals here. So you can do a variety of things where you can like save the kid and get the dad out of there. You can help the cannibals kill the kid and get them to feed the kid to the rest of the people in the casino. Like there's so many different things you can do. You can like drug the wine. You can kill the cook. You can bribe the cook. You can like psychoanalyze the cook into saying that his childhood is shit. And then he'll go hide in the pantry. And then you can replace the cannibal food with fake cannibal food and then out these fuckers in front of everybody. You can kill the son and then frame the dad for murder by taking the son's blood and putting it all around his room. And then like you can get a robot to come arrest the dad and the robot will shoot the dad in the middle of the casino. This game's so fucking great.
It does have some of the best like writing and branching paths
So good.
of all of those games. And it's like Fallout 4 was just so gutted from all of that. It was such a disappointment. And even like Skyrim, it's just like they don't got the chutzpah that Fallout New Vegas has. Where it's just one of my favorites was the quest where you're like going through one of the vaults and there's a voice that's talking to you.
Is it the one where everyone's voting on who's gonna die?
No, it was not that one.
Oh shit.
There's one where you open a door and it just turns out to be a rad roach that's been talking to you this whole time. And that was one of my faves.
Oh my God.
Or a plant. I forget. I can't quite forget.
So there's a plant vault where it's like plants. And then there's like the rep contest site where the ghouls are trying to go to space and you think that you've been talking to a ghoul on the intercom and then it's just a normal guy who keeps being like, no, I'm a ghoul.
Classic. Very good.
Yeah. So anyway, that's New Vegas. I could keep going, but I don't.
Fallout New
Fallout New
Vegas.
Vegas. I think when they were advertising the DLC was the first year that I went to E3.
Wow.
Does Fallout New Vegas have DLC?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
big time.
right. Wait, yeah,
like
the
I think they were,
canyons.
like I can't remember if they were advertising the DLC or if it was like Fallout New Vegas specifically, but I remember seeing like the big E3 like floor space that they had, and was such a heartbreaking year because like I'd spent my entire life like loving video games and reading GamePro and with my like monthly subscription to Nintendo Power magazine, and I finally like worked my way up to the big career position of faking your credentials on a blog website and then getting a press pass. And then, I finally go to E3 and it is the year that is like the knee-jerk reaction from Sony and Microsoft to like the breakout success of the Wii. So like all they were pushing were like motion controlled dance games.
No.
So like I'm like, oh man, I'm finally going to E3. This is great. Like, what am I gonna see? And it's like fucking Just Dance. Like it is Just Dance.
It is just Dance.
It is all just dance stuff. Like I got to go back a couple times since then. I was kicked out on different fake press credentials. That was cool. And then I got to go as like part of Hot Pepper Gaming, and I always wanted to do this gag. I'm so sad I never did it, but like I wanted to give like Hot Pepper Gaming Game of the Year awards. Like to like best in show at E3, and it was just us taping a habanero pepper to like their booth and then walking away.
Oh,
That's the gag that'll haunt me, like the one I never did about Hot Pepper Gaming.
Wow.
Eh.
Nothing's stopping you from faking
From just
press
showing up.
credentials and then putting like a biological weapon. Get a Carolina Reaper.
Man.
Should we do like segments of this show?
Yeah, some seggies.
Let's do some seggies.
Yeah.
I love segs.
It's time for the segment called What's Poppin'. The theme song goes here.
Actually, no. Like
No,
So I
like,
wanted
yeah,
to
no,
actually-
yeah. If you want to, I really
what-
want to talk about the music theory that went into this.
It's really complex.
Yeah, like
it's
there's-
really
Stop
complex.
because like
Stop
I don't know,
this.
Brian's a
Stop.
guy like
Stop.
when you
I'll
hear-
leave. I'm gonna leave. I'm
like
gonna
you
take
hear
my-
Brian's
I'm gonna take
soul
my
in
ball
everything
and
that he
I'm gonna
creates.
go
But
home.
I
I'm
think
just gonna
most
go
of
over there,
all
and I'm gonna go
within
home and
in
I'm
the-
gonna
in
call
the-
Brian
in the
and
popping
ruin my
song,
life.
it
it's
definitely
just-
takes a
it's-
couple listens.
You listen to
Before
it a
you
couple of
really-
times and then
before you really like understand what the sort of like scale he's working on
Yeah.
means.
and the minor keys and the major keys, and it's just like
yeah, like
now
there's a
when
sort of
he
like there's like
goes,
an unresolved
and it's
tension.
just
Jarek's house.
yeah.
the subtleties,
I
and you
think Jarek
can't
can
hear
talk
like
a little
when
bit
he's
more about
coming
this.
in
Like if he
it,
wants
and
to
it's
get
just
into
really
like
complicated.
the sort of like
Like
minutia.
slippery like
Ever
mayo,
happened to me.
and
This is the absolute
yeah, like
worst thing
there's
that's
the
ever happened.
imagery,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like,
just like-
it's
yeah,
like how
he really
does
brings it
Brian do
together.
imagery just with the melody, right? And yet he's still able to do that.
I
Like you
just-
like
I
you
really
can taste the
admire
mayo
him.
when you
I
listen to
just
that
you
Jarek,
song.
can taste it's so
poppin'?
good.
What's poppin'?
Fucking A+, beautiful, incredible.
Let me see.
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
Vernon, what's poppin'?
Oh shit! I don't like things.
You didn't think about it?
I honestly didn't.
Are we not going to acknowledge that we're both wearing Channel 5 shirts?
Yeah, fuck it. My What's Poppin' is Channel 5. Like, I hope everybody watches that. And Channel 5 is like the only YouTuber that exists. Andrew Callahan. I just think he's a neat dude.
know if I can say the joke.
Say it. Now you got it. Yeah. No.
I just like look. The way that I judge how I trust a man
Mhm.
is if I look at him and he looks like he would suck a girl dick, and Andrew Callahan looks like he would suck a girl dick. Like he's got that and glint in his eyes.
Glint in his
And
eyes.
not like in a chaser way. I just think if presented, he would do a little sloppy toppy.
I love how now we can never have him on this show. Like he would ever come on our show.
I feel like that I'm really guaranteeing that he would come on the show and be like, yeah.
Where can I line up for the sloppy top?
No, man, I got like a full-on parasocial relationship with Andrew Callahan. I think he's so cool, man. I like watch interviews of him where he talks about like, oh yeah, I think most people are good. Like I gave you Keanu Hero. It's one of my favorite books. I think John Steinbeck is really cool because the sort of perspective that he writes from is like a man who so badly wants to understand humans. And I think that there's something within Andrew Callahan's interviewing style that sort of suggests that same thing where like he truly loves humans and he wants to understand them. And I think that's like so much of the basis of Channel 5. I sound like an idiot right now, but like, no,
You sound
like,
like a stoner is what you sound like.
www.archiveofourown.org/r/tagged/Andrew Callahan/Vernon Shaw.
no. No.
I love how you just assured that it will exist in the next week.
Oops. What's your favorite episode of Channel 5?
It's the Chet Hanks one. There's like another person like I've also developed a parasocial relationship with. And I say that prefacing like Chet Hanks has said some like real head ass shit over his career. But I think that's like what endears him to me. Like one of my favorite Chet Hanks moments was when his little brother, like one of the Hanks sons, was doing an AMA on Reddit. And Chet Hanks responded like to tease his little brother with his own Reddit account. He's like, oh, fuck you, little bro. But because of that, everybody clicked on his username and found like public comments he's made on like r/Gone Wild posts. Like, big.
my God.
And like that's like how I was introduced to Chet Hanks. And I was like, I'm super in it for like the roller coaster at this point.
You and I frequently talk about the moment in the Andrew Callahan Chet Hanks interview where Chet reveals that the only times he cries at movies is when he sees movies his dad's in.
And what does that mean? There's so much to break down when someone says that out loud.
I think about that every time I think about Tom Hanks. I just think about Chet Hanks watching his father Tom Hanks in a movie and that being the only time he can cry in a movie. Like,
He's also an anti-vaxxer. Like, that's cool. Like,
oh my God,
like,
White Boy Summer.
Yeah, he did White Boy Summer. Like,
We all contain multitudes.
He will die on the Jamaican like patois conversation. Like he'll die on that hill.
Okay, but Vernon, would he suck a girl dick?
you know, I don't know, man. But what I will say about him is that like I'm not joking, he is one of the reasons why I work out as much as I do. Because
yeah, but
like
Joe Rogan is also one of the reasons that you work out as much as you do.
Oh God, sorry. Oh no, don't put this fucking evil on me. Like,
guys, I'm just razzing him. He's not a big Joe Rogan fan. He just loves DMT.
no, like.
Sorry,
no,
he's not a big Joe Rogan fan. He doesn't like DMT. He just really likes Elon Musk. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I loved his work on News Radio. He was just a great scene partner with Phil Hartman. But I will say, like, this was another one of those pandemic buys, but like in my stupid boxing gym that I have in my stupid garage hangs a photo I bought on eBay of like Joe Rogan in his Got Milk era, but his like Got Milk Fear Factor era. So he's in a vat of chocolate milk that's like rising up, and he has a little chocolate milk's mustache and like something about like that. I can't remember the slogan, but it had something to do with both fear and milk. And that hangs over my workout space to encourage me to work out more.
But yeah, you have your motivational Joe Rogan. When you had a knife throwing board in your garage as we threw knives at a certain point,
Joe Rogan looked over us while we were doing that.
But you never threw one at Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, no. You keep bringing things up that I feel like I have to explain. Like, pandemic was really long.
Well, yeah, because it's funny because you get flustered when I'm like, haha, Vernon likes Joe Rogan. He doesn't. He straight up doesn't. You just get uncomfortable. And then you start backpedaling, and then it's really funny. This is why Brian does it. This is why Brian does it, man.
But like,
Layton's gotten mad with Brian
There's not
power.
a lot of good male role models for dudes these days. It's all Joe Rogan. I don't think that's really good for like the youth of America.
Or literally any other man in the world. I don't get like, it's like you could just listen to anyone else. You could just go down the street and find someone who's building a shed.
Yeah, but have you seen his sidekicks though? Like they're super powerful. The guy knows mixed martial arts.
Right. Oh, sidekicks. You said side. I thought you meant sidekicks. Like he's a fun little superhero.
That's what I thought too. And then I was like, the phone? What are you talking about?
I won't get into particulars about this because I just don't want to have like the male role model conversation.
It's touching. It's like you genuinely see a lack of positive male role models, and I think you are bothered by it because you have your big focus on like family and supporting each other and like helping other people and being self-sustaining. Like it clearly bothers you a lot, which is why it's funny to imply that you're a huge Rogan stan.
Oh man, but no, like one of my favorite genres of dude is someone like who's so intelligent about one aspect of life that they're just like, I'm intelligent about the rest of it. And I don't know, I think Joe Rogan's really good at sidekicks. Kicking a bag, he's really, really good at that. And I'm happy to hear his opinions on that and nothing else.
He's good at kicking. So let's make him the cultural arbiter of the entire world.
She was so good at like holding bugs and stuff though, man. Like if his podcast was just like him holding bugs, and being like, yeah, man, so I took DMT the other day and just stop there. Don't have other people on the show. Don't have your little pal Alex Jones on the show. Like, just fucking sit there and hold a bug for the love of God, and we would all respect you more. God, fuck.
What else is popping?
Leighton, what's popping?
What's popping is Fall New Vegas. I don't know, fuck it. I already
Fall.
talked about it. It was good.
All right. My what's
Jarek,
popping?
what's popping?
Jake, what's poppin'?
Oh, what's popping with me?
No, like the aura that you put out was someone who wiggles their fingers and says, "I don't mind if I do." Like, don't mind if I do.
Don't
Before
mind
they
if I
like pick up a tiny sandwich. Like,
You've infected me with that because you always do that thing with your hand and you're like, don't mind if I do. And now I do it. The social contagion of being a fancy little lad.
just hit him with that berries and cream shit. You got.
Anyway, sorry. What's popping?
What's popping with me is one of my new favorite comedians, Melissa Villaseñor.
Hey, yeah,
Ah.
she's great.
Love her. I love her podcast too. Laughing with Myself. Well, she just like kind of like shoots the shit, but also workshops new bits.
Hey,
Yeah, I love her.
I really enjoy her impression work.
Yeah, her impression work is really great. I think she just left SNL.
She's a part of this like special class of comedians like Maria Bamford, where you just like don't actually know what their actual voice sounds like.
Yeah. I actually really like Melissa Villaseñor's natural voice.
Whenever I think of her, all I can hear is Christina Aguilera. Her like Shakira impression is great.
Right. I feel like I relate to a lot of Melissa Villaseñor bits. Like she has one about her mom being her accountant, and my mom is my accountant. So
Wow.
I relate. So that's what's popping with me. Melissa Villaseñor, anything Melissa Villaseñor these days. Allison, what's popping?
What's poppin' for me is the Amazon Paperwhite Kindle.
Hey,
Now
yes.
it's flush screen. No, I got a Kindle and I love it. Actually, that's ironically not actually how I read this book. But I read No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood.
Yay.
Leighton introduced me to Patricia Lockwood when we were living in Savannah because she also lived in Savannah. And she's just such a weirdo.
This is one of my fondest Savannah memories of you and I going to go see her read poetry. And she made, I think, in hindsight, I think maybe it was her husband. But from her point of view, she just makes a guy kneel and hold her vodka and negs him as she's doing the reading. Like, she is incredible.
She asked someone to come up and was like, hey, can someone take this cup from me? And the person comes up to like take it and put it away. And she just goes, no. Stay here, kneel. And then just continues reading Priest Daddy. And it's so good. And she's like a little like pixie cut, looks like kind of a mom, like a young mom.
Yeah.
It was very good.
We got copies and she signed them and she drew a possum on mine. And what did she say to us? Something about us like dressing cute because we're in art school. I forget.
Yeah, we had cool outfits. We look cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that was one of the first times that we hung out. Like, fully.
I think it was the first time we actually went somewhere. And if you were not with me when we walked in and it was packed, I would have left. Like, I was so anxious.
I think you told me that. And I was like, no, it's cool. And then I just put on the like gregarious mode and I'm like, I'll do all of it. It's fine.
It was great. But yes, no one is talking about this.
I listened to it on Libby app. Love the Libby app. I'm trying to collect all of the different major cities' library cards, like Pokemon cards, so I can just get all of them books.
Nerd.
I just have DC
Ratings
and
for
LA right
cowards.
now. But yeah, I listened to it, and the reader was fine, but I had to put it on like 1.2 speed because it was just like a tiny bit too slow. It was weird because I'm like, it's kind of a book about hating the internet.
Yeah.
I sobbed. I have never read a book that was just so gut-wrenching and like confusing and funny, of just like me on a plane cackling to myself and making someone uncomfortable. It feels way too relatable as a millennial, of just like you're just on the internet and everything's bad. And I love the way that she talks about the internet, kind of just like describing what you're seeing as you're scrolling. So it's just like lists of stuff.
People who are not familiar with like her books like Priest Daddy or this might know her from her poetry, which is also amazing. But yet she writes that stuff like it is her poetry and it is fucking great. And then it's also, I don't know if you knew what sort of the bit of the book is that is so heartbreaking going into it, but I was like, ha, funny internet book.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about the book. I was just like, oh, Patricia Lockwood, great. And then it's like, cool, it's going to be like some like internet person doing stuff. And she's also very good at writing fake internet headlines. It
Yeah.
was so good. I couldn't tell what was like made up or not. But then it's just like, oh, her sister has a baby, but it's got a birth defect, so it's going to die in 6 months. And so they're like, we're going to love this baby so hard with everything in our body. She loses every sense of self from the internet to pour into this child. And I'm just like sobbing.
Yeah, as a non-crier, I cried like a fucking baby at that book. And also Priest Daddy, which has less of like an explicitly heartbreaking thing. It's the same sort of thing I get when I read John Darnielle books,
Ugh.
where by the end of it, I'm just like, I don't know why I'm crying.
Just like the abstract concept of like a yearning for a connection to the world.
Yes, of beauty, capital B beauty,
Mm.
beauty in italics.
I want to finish this What's Poppin' with one of the callbacks where they're at a diner with the kid and a little boy like turns around and like takes a photo of the child because it's got like a deformed head and, you know, looks kind of funky. And she's talking about processing that. And then later, spoilers, child dies. She's thinking about that photo and yearning for the kid to have posted it online so that everyone can see the beauty of this child. And there's just that like circle back of earnestness of coming back into the internet with this like heart full of love around everything that just
Yeah.
felt really nice. Not just of like, I'm going to disconnect, but I'm going to come back better.
Yeah. God, I need to reread it because I read it right when it came out and I don't remember as much as I feel like I should from it.
Mm.
And you put it perfectly.
Sorry to get real earnest on you.
No earnesty allowed.
Sorry, like I almost hit that perfectly with asking you if, but does she suck girl dick?
Would Patricia
Like,
Lockwood suck girl dick?
I missed that like really like fucking hit on the joke, but like just wanted to say like I had that in the chamber ready to go.
I don't know. I would see her walking around when I worked at Blick in Savannah, and I would just be like, "What's up?" Very much married. Don't
Yes.
know. It feels a little bisexual.
Here's something interesting to me. I think if you are not straight, you see somebody that you really like, and then you project everything onto them because it's like, well, I'm bisexual. I want this person to be bisexual because that's cool. And I see that happen so much, and people do it to real people and celebrities all the time. And it bums me out because I completely understand the inclination and I do the exact same fucking thing. But it's also like, how much of this is you wanting the person that you like to be like you?
It's like how I just think that every man that I meet is probably a girl. And I just try to bully them enough into taking estrogen.
I was looking at Fallout New Vegas memes, and there is a huge incidence of like trans girls liking Fallout New Vegas memes. And they have like the little pop up you get when you get addicted to Psycho. And it's just like, you are now addicted to estrogen.
So there's 3 trans girl games that I know about. It's Destiny 2 for some reason, because I was playing that for a while and it's just ripe with trans girls. Don't know why. It's Dark Souls, the original Dark Souls.
Yes.
Very trans girl game. Again, there's some theory around there, insurmountable thing, creating yourself, recreating yourself. Your body is decaying and you have to keep taking something to make it not do that. There's some stuff there. And then Fallout New Vegas for some reason. I think because it's just like the world's so weird that to be trans would be the most normal thing. It's be like the lowest tier of like what's going on here.
Yeah. I think you explained it better than the long article that I read about it. But the memes are incredibly funny.
Yeah, get Shrek'd. Wrong article.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing trusting knowyourmeme.com. And not my dear beautiful friends.
It's just like a link to like trans girls and pickles.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's what was poppin'. We should do the final segment, which is called Peaches and Lemons. And we will do 1 peach each, I think.
Yeah.
Just because there's 4 of us and this doesn't need to be 3 more hours. And we will also all do a lemon. I don't know, theme song, fuck it, but
I'll go first. I'm element. I'm
do
ready.
it.
USB-A devices. Plugging them in. I feel like the only way to plug in a USB thing is to first insert it, remove it, go
And then
back.
Finally, it's correct. Yeah.
No, go back.
Yeah.
It's not correct. And one more time. And on the third time, which was the original try, it fits.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
lemon.
Was there a specific like use case where this happened to you recently?
Yes, last night when I
Oh,
tried
man.
plugging in my USB devices.
And as an audiovisual guy, like that's like your thing. Like you got to do that a lot.
Yeah, kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, you think you'd be a pro at it by this point.
Yeah, what do you mean you
So-
don't instantly know when you pick it up if
Yeah.
it's going to be on toppies or bodies?
It sounds like I don't know, Jarek, a poor workman blames his tools.
Oh.
So what's that about?
Watch, he's going to like compress the shit out of you only near track. You're messing with the podcast god here.
I'm the only one like with reverb that makes me sound like I'm in a cathedral.
Yeah, it's making your like all your breathing heavier.
Turn up the gate on my mouth breath.
who's got
Shit.
a
Don't make fun of the audio engineer. I'll go next, like as an apology. Sorry, Jarek. I think you're
fine.
professional. And the times I've gotten to work with you in my life have been like
Oh.
true joys.
Suck up.
Simp.
My car's AC broke just in time for like the great LA heat wave that we just recently had. It was like 100 degrees every day. Like I had to drive down to San Diego and all of my windows down, my poor dog in the back, stopping halfway through like a 1.5 hour drive to San Diego to like hydrate my dog and be like, yeah, man, like I'd forgotten like how cool like car AC was, just like how neat of a concept that was. And then I took it into a dealership and they said that it would cost $2,000 to fix it. So now I'm going to find a different place.
Oh,
Sounds like you
So-
should find a different car.
Yeah. Oh God. It's not an old car either, but like just as long as I've had it, it's just been plagued with
what?
air conditioning issues.
Brandon, what kind of car is it? And also, what's your license plate?
Oh, brother, I drive a 2017. But no, yeah, that's my fucking petty grouse, right? Like,
It's a
Very
great
good, very
line.
good.
I think solving problems in my life, like, I can very much relate to like Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Have you ever played that game?
Jesus Christ.
Like,
Yeah, I was
it's
like,
like-
a 14-year-old, I think.
Yeah, right. But like the whole game, you were being chased by something and you were slowly going insane. The only way to like stop going crazy is by solving problems. And
It's just life, man.
yeah. And I think about that all the time. It's like, man, like if I can take my car to a mechanic tomorrow morning, like that will turn down the volume of like the full volume Linkin Park song that's going on in my head all the time. Like that'll just turn it down just like one little notch.
I actually know some cool startups that are trying to solve all those problems. So, like, if you have any extra money to invest, like, they've got a ping pong table and the sleep
And they'll
pods.
send me a bed.
Do you,
Yeah,
do,
and
you,
also
do you think that they have
pH
some
everywhere.
Herman Miller chairs?
Oh, the old
Yeah.
Harvey Millers. I don't know. They're pretty comfy, though.
Allison is currently sitting on a Herman Miller chair.
And Harvey Miller.
Allison, what's your lemon?
My lemon is that I flew on Spirit Airlines.
Oof.
And
Oh,
it's like that could just be the lemon. But I flew layover in Dallas and then to DC because I was going for a wedding, and then I went up to New York for my guest spot. But first flight, totally normal. Had to circle a bit because there was a thunderstorm, but they were like, do you want a drink? And I was like, oh, sure. And they're like, cool, it'll be $5. And I was like, for a Coke? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, then I don't want a drink. And then in the second Spirit
There wasn't like a
Airlines
$5
flight,
asking charge.
you don't get a free drink anymore. And I was like, that's fine. I didn't really care. It's just weird that you switched it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then in the second Spirit Airlines, they didn't have running water. They just had an X over the sink and a bunch of like little Sandy towels. And I was like,
Oh.
what? Like the most Spirit Airlines
Did the
thing.
pilot invite you to like flap your hands really hard on takeoff? Like,
They had to announce it too. They were like, there's no running water on this flight. So no coffee, tea, or water.
Oh my god.
So that was just weird. It was not really inconvenient, but it was just like, weird. I just don't like the concept of not having running water.
Yeah, it's like I'm paying money to fly through the air. I can't have a little Diet Coke while I'm at it. What the
So-
fuck?
oh, what? So it's illegal to have a little sip, have a little beverage in my my tunnel that shouldn't be flying through the air, doing what God forbade us? Huh? So what? It's illegal to question God's might?
Yesterday, I was talking to my therapist and I referred to something that my body was doing as an aberration in the eyes of God. A normal thing for me to say in therapy. And a couple of minutes later, after I was done monologuing, he was like, so I know you were saying that it was an aberration in the eyes of God facetiously, but
Like, I know we're all in on the bit.
Yeah.
My
So God bless him.
going off that story, I was talking with my therapist and she stopped me in the middle of a conversation and she was like, "You realize this is the third time you've called yourself a chump in this conversation, right?"
Am I your therapist? Because I do that to you all the time.
Yeah.
Start
Oh,
billing
God.
them. Bill them by the hour.
You spend a couple days in New York and now you're already doing the New York talk, calling me a chump and then
I feel
thinking
like
that flying is an aberration.
What would like the bimboification, but you becoming even more Northeastern over the time that I've known you? Because I feel like you're moving towards it.
You just show up with
It's increasing.
lobsters.
Yeah.
I have lobsters, a bagel, and I'm pissed about something that is like very not real.
Shrimp season is not coming in this year.
Shrimp season's not coming in. Snow crabs, they're out there. My boys are out on the docks and they're waiting to get out there, but the storm's coming in, you know. They're fucking townies.
Oh,
Who's got a lemon? Leighton.
I have a lemon. I love waking up so early. It is so yummy. Love doing it. But lately, because I've been gaming too hard, I've been oversleeping and waking up. Like I woke up at 11 a.m. today.
Oh, that's gamer hours.
like a fucking chump. Like who? What am I? 12? What is this? What am I? 17? It threw me off. I was so mad. What do you mean I don't get my extra like fucking 5? I can't do math. Thank God Brian's not here. My extra like 5 hours to dick around during my day. Now I have to just like go do things. And I go into the store and I'm like, "Good morning," and they're like, "It's new."
How early were you waking up?
Like 6:37.
Okay, cool. And what's your address? No! No, not my address! Jerry, cut that
Uno
out!
reverse.
Come
Uno reverse.
on!
All right, great. So we all did lemons. Now we will issue 1 peach each, and I'm gonna burp. So that's why I'm talking like this.
1 peach, 1 peach each. 1 peach, 1 peach each. 1 peach, 1 peach each. 1 peach, 1 peach each.
I got a peach because Brian is dead.
Rest in peace, by the way.
Because Brian's playing the great NSP show in the sky.
Singing about God's butthole
This
now.
is gonna be really like fucked up looking back on this. And it's like, yeah, he really like played that keyboard until he came himself to death.
Yeah, I was telling Jory that I was planning on coming in here and acting like Brian had died. And he was like, "It's going to be really awkward when he dies like next month." Anyway, I was around his child last night. So daddy's out of town.
the worst way to say
Yeah, could you rephrase that really quickly?
Just looking through the window.
I was in his child's area.
60 feet away, 60 feet away.
All right, so Brian's dead. Brian's dead, so I was babysitting his child and we were hanging out. She showed me, like, I'm not exaggerating, at least 20 more things you didn't know about Breath of the Wild videos.
That's so cute.
I learned a lot about Breath of the Wild and the glitch and hacking community. Then we put together a little like papercraft haunted house thing and it was good. I love that. So this is me picking up the mantle of Brian, who is dead, to talk about how great Audrey is, because Audrey is the greatest. We got pizza. She's just like a very snuggly child. She's just such a gamer. She kept like pausing the videos and then rewinding them to make sure I caught all of the tips and tricks. And it was like, "Did you hear it? It's the theme from Twilight Princess, but it's faster this time. Did you hear it? Listen again. Cover one ear. It's easier to hear it if you cover one ear."
Your friendship with this child has been like one of the most heartwarming things to experience from afar, to see like you putting in like honest effort to like make sure that this kid grows up cool.
Yeah, and it's really paying off because she doesn't have a dad anymore.
You know that this is technically
This was the long haul of Dream Daddy.
Yeah, is this not Dream Daddy 2, where you become the father figure to like a poor orphaned child?
Dream
Rest
Daddy
in
2,
peace,
Lady
Brian.
Daddies.
Oh my God. Yeah, there will be a Forbes article about that one. Jesus. Yeah, so that's
Leighton Gray in child's area.
somebody else peach.
I'll do a peach. Okay, I'll go back a couple weeks and say that the last time that we all hung out, I had you guys over to my place for a Kino movie
Kino.
night.
What's the address to that?
Hey!
Oh yeah. The last time the four of us hung out in a room together, I invited you guys over to my place to like watch stupid like cinema, but with like an accent over the E of cinema, like true film bro
Some
shit.
cinema,
We watched Tarsem Singh's The Fall 2006. It was, first of all, like a really, really good hangout. And I think like just a solid representation of me of just like inviting people over to my place and then sobbing at a movie.
Can I say a thing?
Yeah, go for it.
This is like an earnest thought, and it's mostly for Jarek and Vernon. But especially that moment, I have been wanting to integrate more men into my like queerness. There is so much exclusion of like, rightfully so. I'm going to get canceled for this, of like straight cis men from the queer world. And I'm like, straight cis men need the queer world so goddamn bad.
See, this is
So-
the intersection of your idea of men don't have any positive role models, and you're coming in and it's like, we're bridging the gap. I love this. This is community building. This
Joke's
is-
on you, they're all women. I don't know. I just keep thinking about it. There's events where it's like no men allowed. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird.
I like
but-
bullying men.
It's real special. And I feel like I've felt more comfortable in my gender from knowing you and Jarek.
Was it the sobbing at an art house film?
It was the
Like,
sobbing and like holding your arm while you cried.
And while you profusely apologized for crying. And it's so interesting to me that you bring it up on this show, because I feel like you and I have this in common, and I think maybe this is why we get along so well, is that both of us aggressively wear our shame on our sleeve.
Yeah.
But yours is more tied up in toxic masculinity than mine is.
I'd go so far as to say that. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was I don't know.
See,
Like,
listen to his voice. He's doing it.
I don't know.
You're back in the
okay,
corner
here's
and you're doing your thing.
I guess the reason why like watching that movie was so emotional for me was because like when I first watched that film, like I was just like this like 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid who I just wanted so badly to be a storyteller, like entertain people like with the idea of telling stories. And like this was one of the first movies where I saw it. And then in The Fall is a movie about like the origin of ideas and like the reason why we tell stories. And it was really important to me then to figure out like why I like telling stories and to revisit it maybe like a decade later and then be able to compare what I was feeling then to what I feel now, which is like a lot of complicated feelings. I guess that's why I was sobbing uncontrollably in front of my friends while we watched Tarsem Singh's The Fall 2006. I got to make sure that I got that year right.
It was actually 2011.
was that pre or post Drive? Yeah, it was 2006.
Yeah. Drive drove so the fall could walk.
That bit in The Fall where Lee Pace was like humming along to Kandinsky was like really important to
Yeah.
my upbringing as an artist.
Why didn't I say drive drove so the fall could fall? But you know,
It was so much better.
Missed it.
But all of that to say is that I like hanging out with you guys, and whether we're doing it on a podcast in exchange for money, which I'll take my check later, Leighton,
Right, yeah.
or if we're just like hanging out watching like cool Kino shit, like
listen, wait until the
It's
end of the
great.
month to try to cash the check, because like we
you're
can't
gonna want to float
we
that
can't
for a while.
handle another check bouncing at the moment. We are not very liquid at this time.
So yeah, just if you wait till the end of the month, that's the 31st, not the 30th.
Right.
It's
yes.
really important that it's the 31st. But yeah, I don't know. I like hanging out with you guys, so this is always a joy.
For listeners at home, so you know we knew that Brian was going to die. So
We did it.
But we didn't have anything to do with his death.
you
This is
cannot
important.
hold us legally culpable for this. We were not involved. We all have alibis. We're all in on it.
We knew
all
it was
right?
going to happen, but we
got our
chose to do
story.
nothing.
We got our story straight. Anyway, we got our story straight and we were like, all right, shit, we got to figure out recording. So we need to turbo load a lot of like episodes with Brian. But shit, also like booking guests takes a while. So what do? We need a sub. And it was just like,
We got 3 subs right here.
Motherfucker.
wow, God.
Oh, that's a good one.
The friend group like hopscotch here. And I deeply appreciate making the friendship connects like here of, you know, we're college buddies. And now you live in Los Angeles. And
Languses.
And what's your address?
Jarek, what's your peach?
Jake, what's your peach?
Oh, I got a peach.
Because you didn't wiggle your fingers when you said that, but like if I closed my eyes, I would have imagined it.
What's the guy on YouTube who's like the slightly older man who has that video? It's just like, nice. That guy, that's what that immediately made me think of.
I am scoring my first feature film.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's my friend Benjamin, as he is known professionally. I've known him since San Diego, and I've scored probably like all of his films except like 2. And so now the feature that he shot and made, directed and wrote, it was from a short, turned into a feature. I had a song in his short, and now I'm composing his feature.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you'll probably see that in never. And like realistically, like a year or 2 from now.
That's like the goal though, right? Like just
Yeah.
making shit with your homies for the
Oh,
rest of
yeah.
your life.
Oh, absolutely. I probably will get paid like $5 from it, but that's okay. First feature. I'm
Yeah,
excited
dude,
about
baby's
it.
first
Congrats.
feature.
Oh,
Look
okay.
at you.
We'll be there for that
You're
premiere.
famous.
Hell yeah.
I'm famous. Allison, what's your peach?
My peach is that I got to go to New York. My friend Lou was in New York doing a guest spot for a while. And they were like, you're going to DC, you should come out to New York. And I was like, I don't know if I can find a place. And then I just like DM'd a shop I really admire. And they were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh. And so I went and like met some artists that I've admired for like the last like 2-3 years and just like tattooed next to them and like hung out with them a little bit in the shop. Not like actually hang out, but like I was like, oh, we had some conversations and I was like, you guys are real people. And that was nuts, insane that the people on the internet are real. And it's crazy. But I got to meet like some idols of mine, which was
Wow.
kind of cool.
That's awesome.
And I guess now technically my peers to drag them
Yes.
down to my level.
Hey,
Hey, hey, hey,
no.
whoa.
Hey, squirt bottle.
Positive
Yeah, I was
self-talk.
about to say I wish I had a squirt bottle. Well, that feels like a good transition into if people wanted to get tattoos from you.
I'm actually opening a shop with some of my pals.
Gamer.
Not a shop, but a private studio.
Did you decide on the name?
We haven't. We have a lot of names. I won't even list a lot of them.
Really?
There were multiple
What was the
iterations.
the easiest reject?
So me and like 6 of our friends, it's only 4 people who are starting the shop. 6 of our friends all put single words into a bucket and just pull them out.
Oh.
And the number of just the word MILF that we had to pull out
Oh, the
was a
MILF
lot.
bucket.
There were
Yeah,
a couple of MILFs in the bucket.
Last we spoke about it, I keep thinking that Thicket is really cute.
Thicket is cute.
I really like Thicket.
I really want to call it worm food because I think it's funny that we die.
Just kidding, it should be worm food.
Worm
I like
food's
worm
cute.
food.
Like,
a lot.
think about the merch. It's
The
all
merch.
death and graves and worms.
I'm actually fundamentally against the concept of merch, but thank you, Leighton, for like letting me say that.
Listen, I'm your capitalism mama. I'm here for you.
Gotta always be monetizing.
Always,
Oh,
always
ABM.
ABM.
ABM. Learned that from Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross. Always be monetizing.
But yeah, you can find me at Local Bird Mom on the Instagrams, Local Bird Mom. And we're opening that chapter. It's still like in the works, but we will make some announcements. We've soft launched already. Little soft launch, classic LA move. A little soft launch of the
Oh.
podcast.
You gonna,
Soft
you gonna,
launch
you gonna
tattoo
do a
shop.
little pop-up shop? You gonna do a little pop-up, get
little
some,
pop-up?
some,
You
some
wanna do a
exclusive
pop-up?
merch in there? You want
So we're gonna have some food trucks. It's pretty cool. It's $17 and it's the worst corn dog you've ever had. But like,
but it's like an elevated corn dog. It's like you get a little au jus in there and you get a little bit of a
yeah,
aioli.
it's got birria and like some kimchi, so it's gonna be really good. But yeah, my bookings are not open right now. But I have tattooed a number of people from the podcast.
I have an Allison tattoo.
I meant
Hmm.
fans of the podcast, not people from the podcast. It's really just you and
I'm
Brian.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, we started that huge back piece on Brian, and I'm just really excited to like continue it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough posthumously, but
Yeah, I mean, I think I can dig up the body and just have at it.
yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be
I
good
mean, we can
practice.
just like not do the back. Like, when you do embalming in house, you don't have to do the whole thing.
Yeah,
Also, if you need to take the skin off and just use it as a canvas, you can also do that.
yeah, like a
He'd be way
pig.
down for that.
He would be down for that. You know what? I feel like if we decide to cremate him, if we decide to cremate him, I feel like he would be happiest in a mayo jar. Like,
There's a merch idea. Just sell a mayo jar with his ashes in it.
It's going for $200. Anybody want it for like $10?
You should make merch that's a mayo jar that says Brian's ashes with like a tape label.
Why don't you like merch? You're so good at it.
I'm so good at merch. It's my curse. I'm so good at all the things I hate.
Yeah, wait, kids at home, late night pop quiz. Which is Brian's least favorite brand of mayo? I don't remember which one it is, but whichever one
Was
it
it
is.
Kewpie?
He's
Who
okay
the
with Kewpie.
fuck's least favorite kind of mayo is Kewpie? What kind of
It would be
asshole?
Brian.
It would be Brian. Like a,
No, I
like,
can't remember. He loves Best Foods, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's okay with Kewpie.
Well, oh, you know what we do? We Miracle Whip.
There we go.
It's Miracle
Miracle
Whip.
Whip.
Miracle Whip.
All right. Well, closing words for Brian's wake here. Actually, the reveal the whole time is that like Brian has been dead on the floor during this record. Like we killed him 10 minutes
Just
before the
hands
spot.
down.
Oh no, here's my closing words. I just want to make sure that I like represented myself correctly about Chet Hanks. Like because like we kind of like flew through that bit, but like I'm genuinely fascinated by that man, like not from like judging him as a good man or a bad man perspective at all. I think he's just a fascinating human being. And the big news in his life is that he's currently 365 days sober. And I think that's just like really, really cool for him.
Okay, but now defend yourself against your enjoyment of Joe Rogan. And
Yeah,
also
do
defend
it.
yourself against how Andrew Tate is good at boxing.
No, I'm not even like we don't.
Didn't
we
you
do
just
not-
say to me that you thought about dressing as Andrew Tate for Halloween? I love this because this sounds like something I made up to be mean to you, but is a real thing that you said.
I don't know, there's no video on this. This
Vernon is
podcast,
physically
but-
getting lowered to the ground.
Love to bully.
Oh no!
Vernon.
Like since I've been on the internet, the rest of my hair's fallen out. Like I shave my head a lot, and I think as a bald dude, like it just opens up a different subset of Halloween costumes that you can do. One of them is Andrew Tate, the other is Johnny Sins. And that's about it. I think you can make an argument for like the Mr. Clean guy.
Mr. Clean,
Yeah, sure.
easy.
Yeah.
Do you think Mr. Clean Slappy Toppy?
Oh my god, Mr. Clean sucks girl dick real hard. I actually had an oil painting professor who designed the gay Mr. Clean.
Wow.
Wait, isn't regular Mr. Clean gay?
See,
No, it's that Mr. Clean.
but no,
There was an old Mr. Clean.
It's Mr. Clean. They rebranded him to have like a really juicy ass.
And abs and like an earring.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we need to take you to Claire's to get your ear pierced for your
No.
Mr. Clean gay cosplay.
Would it be funnier if we all got like Foley of us digging a grave and like overlaid it and then just don't acknowledge it until the very end?
Just at the end, just like crunch,
Yeah.
crunch, crunch. But then it's Brian's voice. Whoa!
Like, hey guys. We all scream. Great. Well, all right. That's podcasting. See you fuckers.
Zanku! Bye-bye.
Bye.
Leighton Night is produced by Leighton Gray and Jarek Centeno. Follow us on Twitter at Leighton Night, on Instagram at Leighton_Night, or email us at leightonnight@gmail.com.